You are entering a zone where religion is banished. Talk of Jesus, theories, scripture, the esoteric is the forefront. Can you handle it? Hello everyone, hope everyone has had a good weekend so far, or now, since it's the end of the weekend at least. Haven't even gotten started, I'm already having technical issues, gotta love that. Anyway, I'm the Gothic Mystic, and this is the Invisible Realms podcast. And tonight is going to be a little unusual, but oh well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, however you're watching this, whether on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Be sure to like and share it out. It just helps with the algorithm and whatnot. And if you have watched this before and you like what you see and are interested in supporting, head over to patreon.com/thegothicmystic. I also recently came out with a Christian meditation that's on my website. And it's also available for Patreons at the $20 or more level. So if you want to check that out, head over to either of them and grab that. It's called Prince of Peace, and its focus, or the goal of it, is to get you focused on Jesus while, acknowledging that he is the Prince of Peace, but also removing any anxiety, fear, stress, all that stuff from you. Alright, hold on, what should I do? Now, as you can see from the title, Going Dark. And so, there we go. So what that basically means is that I've known for a while that the Lord was going to have me go on a fast. I just didn't know what kind of fast, because before, over the last 7 years ish, every single time I would go on a fast, it would be a food fast, or unless he gave me other instructions. So, but this last time I went on an all food fast, he said you can't do this anymore because of where you're going professionally wise. So I was kind of wondering, and then like I said, a few weeks ago he told me he would, and then next thing I know, with all this stuff that's going on in the world, he's like, okay, time to go dark. I'm like, oh, okay. So after tonight, I will not be on social media for I don't know how long, and it is until he gives the say so to return. So don't, if you come across this video or audio later on, or come across any of this stuff that I've previously put out, go ahead and join Patreon, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and just enjoy everything that I have put out, that the Father has given me to put out, until I return. Because I have too much stuff going on with this channel just to leave it, and God knows that too. I've got too many projects on the table, shall we say. So let's talk about the secret place. The secret place is a way to make sure, or whenever the Father says to go into it, whether it's for a fast or you just go into it in general to spend time with Him, it's a way to remove everything that's going on around you from your life. And yeah, you might talk to Him about that and to get direction and whatnot, but it also removes the potential of you having other gods before Him without even knowing it. So by going into the secret place, especially if you're forsaken a certain thing or many things in the world, you're just casting those aside and making him a priority. That way, in a way, you're refocusing things. If in case you've gone a little off kilter or off target in your life without even knowing it, or you have recognized that you have. That's a big one too. If whenever you recognize that you have, even if without his help, then going to secret place will be a perfect time to get recalibrated. That's I like that word. So yeah, the secret place is great. I recently kind of built my own little secret place. I've kind of done my own thing for several years now, but I just kind of felt the need to actually have a place set aside specifically for him. That way I can close the closet door and it'll just be me and him, and there wouldn't be any other distractions. And one thing that is good about the secret place, and when I say this I don't mean that it should be your focus, is that whenever you go to the secret place, you're spending time with him, you get stronger in different areas in your life. But that doesn't mean that you should go to the secret place with that goal. Your goal should just be him. It should just be the Father. And spending time with him in that area should be the utmost priority. And in fact, I truly believe that everyone should have a secret place. That the closet, whatever you consider it. Some people in their current season of life, their secret place is the car whenever they're going to and from work, to and from all different things, because they literally don't have the time to have or to get it at home. So it literally can look like, it can look differently for everyone. But at the same time, I truly believe that even if it's your car or somewhere else, I think you should have a way to jot things down or record things that you believe that he is telling you to do, or instructing you, or just sharing things with you, even if it's not say you need to make this decision. It could be like a little secret that the Father is sharing with you that not everyone knows, but he feels that he can trust you. It goes along those lines. But also it's a way of getting over certain bad habits that you may or may not have, because the more you spend time with him in his presence, those things just drop off. And we all know that we all have different things that need to drop off, regardless of whether or not we want to admit it or not. Like I said, we all should have that secret place that is a everyday thing. And it looks different for everyone, but there's also the times whenever we go and spend time with him with the focus of getting away from everything. I know in, I think it was Enoch, it actually says that, before he was taken by the Lord, he went back and forth. He would go and spend like an extended amount of time with the Lord wherever it was, then come back and teach the people, and then go away, and then come back. And each time, hey Christy, thank you. And each time he would go away, it would free for a little bit longer. And at the end, I don't know how long, I think it was maybe like a year at the end, whenever he was away and then came back. After that, the Lord took him, and and he's been in heaven ever since, and he's going to be one of the witnesses in the tribulation. But I'm not going to touch on that because the can of worms I'm not ready to open. I know that I have literally had people comment about it. You know, it should be something that I talk about, but whenever I do open up about it, I want it to be on my terms. I want to be able to go back there and dive into things. But it's been so long since I've actually looked into it and meditated on it and thought about all the different aspects, concepts, and ideals regarding that topic. Just not ready. And I did realize, because I was being interviewed here within the last few weeks ish, that I had not even posted anything regarding that, and I've been studying it for, this is 2021, I've probably been studying for 12 or 13 years. I've never even posted on it. It's even on my website. So that really makes me chuckle. And I know that there's a lot of people out there these days, or right now, that really think that Jesus is going to return, but they fail to understand what's really going on and what the Father is really trying to do. And I know people are going to get pissed off by me saying that, but whatever. I don't really care. Oh, Ramashi, and maybe whenever it comes time, I'll kind of spill some things that the Lord has kind of showed me regarding the whole situation. Which is, it's always interesting whenever you're meditate on something, and then He just kind of drops a little tidbit. You're like, oh, yeah, that's true. I can totally see that. Interesting. Love that. That's a common thing for me. Not to brag, just sharing. It's a common thing, and there are times whenever I think and meditate on something for 6 months, and I get nothing or get very little. You never know. But when it comes to the secret place, and I know there are some people out there who have actually set up their secret place and, you know, and decorated all that just because it's theirs and the Father's. It's their meeting place, their secret meeting place. It's very intimate, which is great. And I got mine set up, and it's very basic. I'm still working on kind of reorganizing things, but hey, I'm content with it. It's minimalistic, which is something I like. So yeah. So if anyone who's watching has any questions or prayer requests, be sure to throw them in there. Father, I do ask that during this time, I know of people who are going into that secret place right now. I'm not doing it because they're doing it. I just found it interesting whenever I read it. And the next thing I know, you're saying, time to go dark. So they recognize the time frame, the time that we're living in right now, and the need to seek you over anything and everything else. So Father, I ask that you push your people to do that secret place, Lord. Not because I'm doing it, not because other people are doing it, but because you've instructed them to, that you want to set the time aside. And yeah, it's very possible that other people have already done that. And this is just a few people's time. We never know what you're doing in the background. And that's what I love about you, and that's what I find aggravating sometimes, because I want to know all the details. I want to see how things work in the background, see how things churn in the machine. But I also recognize that it's too much for my brain to handle. It's too much for my simple brain to handle, and that's one thing that we lost during the fall. I honestly believe that there was that we could process and we could see a lot more in the state that we were in before we fell in Genesis. But now that we are in this state, the Lord works with us. He actively works with us in the state where we're in, not just the physical, like flesh state, but also the state of being that we're in at any point of our lives. He sees it and he recognizes it and he works with us. And that's part of the transformation. We're all going through that transformation, even me. And it's time for the secret place so that I could, maybe he has a few things that he needs to clip away from me, or maybe he's going to be planting some extra stuff in me for it to grow. It doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to anyone else. Whatever he wants to do, because he knows us best. He created us, so he knows what we know better than he knows what we need better than we know what we need. Tongue twister there. I know that we'll be having new president in just a few days, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of conspiracy theories. This is going to happen, this is going to happen, these people are being moved around, these things are getting prepared. But I actually remember, I think it was last week, I don't remember exactly, it was maybe a week and a half ago, where someone was talking about, someone on YouTube was talking about him getting word from a very reputable source that in 3 or 4 days there was going to be martial law. It's been a week. So it's times like this where we need to spend time with him, get only the direction from him, whether it's jogging outside, walking the dog, in the secret place. It doesn't matter. But we need to be able to get that correct information. Can I? Because I honestly believe that at one point in our life, whether it's now or years down the line, hearing his voice and being able to move at the Holy Spirit's unctions is going to be vital for our lives. Sometimes it could be life and death, sometimes it just could be like, okay, you made a mistake, now you're going to have to deal with the consequences, however bad those consequences are, because every action has a consequence, even if you take a step. It's like that, and it's not meant to bring anyone in fear, because there's enough of that stuff out there. But learning to hear, understand, and know what God is saying is very necessary. Like, for instance, if you're looking at two or three different houses, you really love one house, you're okay with the other one, and you're happy with the other one. You're content with one and happy with the other. Okay. And the Father says, don't get this one, and that one's the one you absolutely love. So let's look at the two different scenarios here. If you go and buy the house that you absolutely love, even though God told you don't do that, buy the one that you're happy with. 6 months down the line, all of a sudden you have a $20,000 bill that you're having to pay due to repairs to the house that were either hidden or someone lied about it. Versus if you went the other route and obey the Lord and say, don't get the one that you love, get the one that you're happy with. So you bought the one that you're happy with, and everything's perfectly fine. You live there 20 years, and then sell it because you move on to your next life. But it could also be that 6 months down the line, in the house that you're happy with, you find out that house you loved it has a lot of issues, and the Lord was trying to save you from that. That's just kind of a good practical example of when it's needed and vital to listen and follow by God's strategic movements, so whatever you want to call it. And how do you get that? How do you get to the point where you're able to follow by His unction, His word, and not deal with anything that He's trying to avoid you from dealing with? The secret place. Spending time with Him. Whether it's just reading the word, or you're in that closet, you're in that particular part of your house, or the place you live at, and spending time with Him in that place where there's no distractions. It's just like that. And it took me a while. Like, whenever I became saved, whenever I actually when God broke me of religion back in 2014, it took me a while as in probably like a year or so, maybe more. I don't remember. It's been so many years. It took me a while to be able to get to the point where I was able to hear Him. Because it was, okay, am I hearing other spirits, or am I hearing Holy Spirit? And it can get difficult. But eventually you learn how to distinguish between. And sometimes I even have an issue too, because I'm like, okay, was this you, Father, or was this me talking to myself? But then He always gives those little confirmations here and there, the little synchronicities of what He was talking about. I even had one earlier tonight talking to a friend of mine via WhatsApp, working on the book, and we were going back and forth between it, trying to edit it and get it proper. And I said one thing, he's like, yeah, that's the next chapter. And then I said something else, like, that's the next section. I'm like, and mind you, I don't remember the specific details of what chapters and sections I have everything organized. And so it's just like that. But mind you, it's still one of those things where, especially when it comes to like books or whatever, where you need to seek the Father, seek Him, to make sure that's what He wants in a podcast, wants in a book, wants in your life. Regardless, it's just kind of how it lands. Each night before I do this prayer thing, this talk thing, or I have a guest on, I do my best to kind of pray over it, just believing that whatever is spoken during that podcast, during that interview, is what the Father wants. And it's not one of those where, and I actually was touching on this whenever I was working on the book earlier, about the whole thing about God's will. He gave us all different personalities. And so by saying, if it's God's will, or along those lines, but with our personality. Okay, good example here. Thank you, Father. Okay, so you're at a job and your manager tells you to do something, but everyone has their own way of doing it because of their personality. And so you do it your way. You've been there for long enough, you've been able to make the way you do it your own. And so later on, let's say the thing that your manager needs you to do requires his or her inspection before sending it off and releasing it. So after you've done it, you let them know, like, hey, it's done. Come over here before we send it off. So they come over there, they look at the work, however it looks, and they're like, yeah, looks good. It's like that. It's not one of those, okay, Father, tell me exactly what you want me to say. You'll get the download, or you'll get the message or whatever, and then you'll word it or do it the best way you know how. And it's not one of those where you gotta, how am I going to do this according to my personality? You just do it. And that's kind of how the Father does things. He gives you the download, and then you do it, or you say it the best way that you know how. And sometimes sometimes he does say, nope, don't you say that, say this. But that's kind of how things happen sometimes. But like whenever you do something or say something, and you're doing it to the best of your ability, I've had times whenever I'm working on a video or doing a podcast, and afterwards I'm like, how was that, Father? It's like, yeah, it was good. So it's like it matches up with the spirit of the message that he wants to put out. And that's basically from what I've learned over the years. That's how it happens, how it does. I know, like, I used to be one of the ones where, like, I want everything to be perfect. I want to do it exactly how the Father wants it. But as we mature and grow older, that's not how it is. He gives us the idea, and then we do it to the best of our ability, or according to how best we know how to do it at that certain level. And yeah, we might screw up here and there. It's part of the process of learning. But that's also where the secret place comes in. We spend time with him. We mature without even knowing it. Because oh my gosh, how long ago was that? During the times several years ago where, I was trying to learn the whole thing with the dream interpretation, and I was having difficult time. People I knew would come to me, tell me a dream, and I would work through it. And I'm like, this could mean this, but I don't understand this. And so it took a long time. But the more I spent with the Father, the more time I spent with him, even if it wasn't even dreaming, trying to figure out the symbolisms. Yes, he was there too. But even just spending time with him, reading his word, or just laying on the ground with my face to the ground in his presence, that's spending time with him. That's in the secret place. And he used that, and he uses that to increase us without us even knowing it. Many times we don't even realize what he's doing, because we don't even feel it. And then one day we're just able to do stuff, and we're like, hold up, how did I just do that? And it's times like that when we realize that the time, all those hours, however long it was, that we spent working on different things with, or just spending time with him, those things turn around. And next thing you know, we're able to throw stuff together, whether it's dream interpretation or whatever special gifting he's given you. It's like you spend all this time trying to understand it and get it, and then one day it just clicks and you're able to do it. And I love that. That's actually one of the reasons why I love and really enjoy doing the dream interpretation. It's because whenever I'm working with someone, whether it's, you know, like a what I call a movie dream, or something that's a, you know, page long or whatever, and we're just dissecting it, and I'm picking things apart. And sometimes I have times when certain things just don't add up. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This is this and this is this, but things aren't connecting. And and then all of a sudden it just clicks with me, whether or not I have to actively ask the Father, like, how it works. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And that's just kind of like how it is with Daniel and John and maybe Ezekiel. We can see that in those dreams, in those visions that they had, it actually mentions that they were thinking, they were wondering, just different words for the same concept. So they were actively trying to figure out what certain things meant. And then sometimes they would ask the divine being that was beside them, what does this mean? Or the divine being would ask them, so and so, do you know what this means? No. That's just how it is sometimes. I'm trying to figure something out and nothing's connecting. And then I'm like, alright, Father, what does this mean? And then bam, he just connects it all. I'm like, I love this. Especially when it has to do with someone's like time of transition, like something that took the dream that they got like 10 years ago. And why 10 years ago, and they're either most of the way through or they're all the way through that transition. But it was from a dream from where they were coming out of, and the whole line is like their transition, their progress, and to the end of it. I love that. But this, that, other than the tangent of the dream interpretation, hit me up if you need it. That wasn't really intended, but it just happened. Again, going to the secret place. You shouldn't have a focus like, alright, Lord, what are you gonna teach me now? No, I'm gonna spend time with you because I need to, because I need you. Just like how, a husband and wife, they need to spend time together because that's an active relationship. Their relationship is going to go nowhere if they don't spend time with each other. Not to mention, we should want to spend time with the Father in general. He did create us, and we existed with Him in some way, shape, or form before we even existed and came into existence on Earth. So why would we not want to spend time with Him now whenever we're on Earth, whenever we're on mission here? That's just kind of how it is. But not to mention, whenever we're dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, especially these days, going to that secret place just to spend time with Him, even if we know in the back of our head that we're going to feel that peace, but having that time with Him is a focus, and the plus of it is feeling that peace. Well, yeah, at the same time, there could be, there are and will be times whenever we go into it just to get that peace, because we drastically need it, because we can't get our minds clear. We're like, Father, I need you, remove all this stuff from me, let me get focused and peaceful from you. I've done that too. I know of many people who have done that. It's just part of life, part of being in a relationship with them, part of that transformation, where we know where to go when we're overly feared or overly fearful or overly anxious. Name and thing, and good example. Father, I just thank you for just granting us the opportunity to just be able to even go into that secret place with you, to want to have the desire to spend time with you. And I also thank you for the times when we just have that subtle little push to go into that place. It's like we're going about our house, doing chores, doing stuff, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I need to go there because the Lord needs to tell me something. And I've had that before, and I love it. It shows that there's something else there outside of ourselves, for all I know, outside of ourselves. I'm not gonna have a repeat of last week. There's something outside of ourselves, not just us, but there's something else there that we can go to, knowing that we can't do this stuff on our own. Again, anyone who's watching, be sure to submit a prayer request, or if you want to come on here, hop into the Zoom chat that is available for Patreons, and you can join me and we can talk or pray for something. Because I know that in the coming days, we're going to need as much peace, as much guidance that He can give us. What else do you want to say, Lord? I just know that He has so much peace to bring us. And the prosperity that he has for us is not the material prosperity. It's the prosperity in Him of having friends and family that we treasure. Yeah, there is also the material prosperity, but that shouldn't be our focus. It should only be in Him and the people that we have around us. That's the most important thing, is the people around us, and that we have Him to go to. Now, as I close tonight, I encourage everyone to do the secret place too. Even if you don't feel like the Father is pushing you to. It's always nice He always enjoys whenever we volunteer to create it or to do it on our own. It's all, I'm not a parent, but I can just imagine like our children wanting to just come up and spend time with us or sit with us on their own cognition without us saying, hey, no, let's go out, let's have some fun or spend time with each other. So I can just imagine. I know the parents out there know how that is. So yeah, I say Shantamara. I encourage everyone to do the secret place on their own. I do not know how long this is going to last for, so I'd say while I'm gone, enjoy everything I've put out there. And don't forget that, you know, Patreon is still out there, and also the dream interpretation thing is still out there too. I am still doing that. I'm still doing both of those. It's just the social media that I'm going dark on. Because we all need it. We all need to get away. And I've known for a while that I've said for a while that I couldn't leave, you know, Facebook or whatever just because of the, you know, this ministry. Honestly, if it wasn't for this, I probably wouldn't even have a personal Facebook. That's just me. But the Lord has his way. But yeah, as I close, I hope everyone has a good Fraulein. No. Forgive me. Everyone has a good time. I'm not sure how long it'll be, so don't freak out on me whenever you don't see me for a couple weeks. And I just encourage everyone to do this. If y'all have any issues, any things that you need to talk to me or pray with me about, bring up to me, you can send an email or send or comment on a YouTube video, and I'll get to it that way. You can still access my website for the dream interpretation too, if you do feel that you need to do that. I wish everyone the best, and until I return, I hope everyone stays safe with everything that's going on. But until next time, love y'all, and see you later.